New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring. And hello again, dear ones. Reverend Robert with you here on a Saturday morning. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. It's so wonderful to be with you. And we have so much to cover today. And as it is, and it is a holiday, and my kids are going to be cooking breakfast sometime soon here, so that we haven't opened gifts yet. We're going to do that in a little bit. So want to say thank you for being with us here this morning. I'm Rev Robert, holding down the fort here at New Thought Media Network. Everybody else is taking off and God hope for the holidays. So you get to see a lot of me if you're around here today, and that's okay, right? That's what it's all about sometimes. And that's what I want to talk with you just a little bit about here today is not necessarily the meaning of Christmas, but I want to share with you a little bit more of an experience of Christmas, I believe, from a science of mind perspective. And we're going to say thank you to a number of different people. Thank you, Wayne. Captain Robert makes my day. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I love you, and I love your sentiments. And thank you so much for being a part of this network and what we're doing here, and being on the committed giving program and all that you do in and around this network. It really makes my day too to see you every day. So thank you for being here. Okay, Science Mind Lecture Series. I want to start with a little bit of a centering prayer, and we're going to do things a little differently than maybe normal today. So just coming into a place of allowing the breath, allowing myself to let go of what this moment is supposed to mean, or what this moment brings forth, or what's come before this moment, what's about to happen after this experience. I allow myself to come to a stillness within that is the pure potentiality of the one, the divine opportunity to express as the one, and to allow the one to express as our lives. The great promise of this day is the promise of peace. The great promise of every day is the promise of peace. For it is our work, our mission here on the planet, our experience, our calling in this time to bring forth more peace, to be the demonstration of peace that brings and allows the light to shine even farther and farther around this planet and beyond, around and beyond, encompassing the globe in a glowing vibration of love and light and beauty, truth and health and wealth and well-being and abundance, prosperity for all. I recognize the one moving and breathing and having its being as all of life. So I know it infuses everything, every experience of this time together. I claim it as a blessing. I cast the blessing into the creative law that must demonstrate. And with a grateful heart, I let it be. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, dear ones, for being with me this morning here on New Thought Media Network. Okay, so first things first, what I would really, really want to do is say thank you to all the people that have made this program happen this past year. So today is the final installment of the 2021 Science, Mind, and Spirit lecture series. Now, the good news is we're coming back next year. I'm not going to tell you who's going to be on the team. The team's going to change a little bit. We're going to come back and we're going to meet the team next week, January 1st. We will be here January 1st, 9 a.m. Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and ready to go. So if you're with us, please be with us. Or if that's a little early for you, you can watch at a later time. But I want to say thank you. And I don't have a picture of each individual. If you look at that banner across the bottom there and that row of individuals, what a great group of people it's been to play with this past year. Reverend Victoriaa Bomberry, Reverend Dr. Ken Gordon, dear friend Reverend Elzia Sekou, Rachel McCreary, who's going through her licensing experience, Reverend Michelle Wadley, myself, now Dr. Tracy Brown, practitioner extraordinaire. It's been an absolute honor to work with each and every one of you this past year as part of this program. And again, we'll let you know next week. Some of those folks are returning. Some of those folks are moving into some different ideas. There's some new faces and some new voices coming on to the team. And we're going to let you know all about that next Saturday morning, right here at 9 a.m. for the Science of Mind and Spirit. I liked the idea of the lecture series, but I want to call it something different. If you've got a name idea for this program, let me know. Let us know. We're going to be figuring that out as we go here. So, yeah, we're always open for change around here. Okay, so today it's about Merry Christmas. Let's talk about our talk today. Today, it's about Merry Christmas. And it's appropriate because, well, today is actually Christmas. And the science of mind and spirit is long been, let's say, up to our eyeballs. No, I don't want to say it that way because it's not like it's been a bad thing. This movement was absolutely born from Christian traditions. We ask ourselves continuously around this movement. Hi, puppy dog. It's Christmas. Puppy dogs are wandering around today. And we constantly are asked and ask ourselves, are we a Christian religion or a Christian tradition? And that can be it's not a cut and dried yes or no answer. For anyone that's been around the New Thought movement at all and been to more than one church, you know that we don't all do the same thing the same way and at the same time. Now, over the last several years, there has been a movement within Centers for Spiritual Living, specifically, to present a more cohesive talk title program and package and annual themes and monthly themes within that annual theme. And that's been running for a number of years. And that's not what this is about. And this talk doesn't follow that. We leave that to the Centers for Spiritual Living churches and centers and communities to do that. What we do here is look at this from I would say, I hesitate to say traditional or fundamental. We look at the Science of Mind textbook chapter by chapter, week by week, throughout the beginning of first half of the year to ground ourselves in the philosophy of the Science of Mind. And then throughout the rest of the year, we look at various aspects and applications of that and how we put what we've learned to use. Now, in that time, there's no question that Ernest used a Christian language quite extensively, and in many of his other writings beyond just the textbook, the Christian writing and language is very evident. I've always believed it's there as part of a bridge. It's there to support, and it is what people knew at the time when this was contemporary writing, when this was brand new stuff. The majority of the nation, and this is a credited, New Thought is considered a truly American tradition, born and raised in America. And in the earliest of time, everybody had that. There was a very strong Christian leaning in the country, and it would be, my interpretation is, it would have been tough to get people to listen if we didn't speak the language that they could hear. And at that time, the language that they could hear, that people could hear, especially in relation to spirituality, was from a Christian vocabulary, from a Christian dictionary, if you will. Now, along the way, great metaphysicians of all stripes, Fillmore's and Ernest Holmes and the Brookses and everybody, Emily, everybody that was either directly or indirectly relevant to the expansion of New Thought as a philosophy on the planet in America, they all used the language, I believe, to bring people to a greater experience of how to use this philosophy, not in a church, but out in the world. New Thought Media Network is an outpicturing, I believe, of that concept, that we're meant to take this philosophy out into the world, not just hang out in churches. Now, that's not to say that the church experience, the center experience, the gathering of people together on specific times and in specific places for specific worship, if you will, or spiritual celebration, if you will, or whatever your quote Wednesday or Sunday or whatever experience wants to be. Nothing wrong with any of that. There's no reason to try to do away with any of that. But what I think we're starting to see more and more and more are unique outpicturings of how this philosophy can influence, well, all kinds of industries and services and business organizations around the planet. To me, that's pretty exciting. That to me represents the great gift, if you will, that New Thought can give to humanity, to society, to our growth and our evolution. And recently, I recognized this is how it works. I had co-opted a phrase, changed it completely, but the intention is still the same. And it didn't change it completely, but changed it enough that it couldn't, and had forgotten that I did that, and started to believe that the original author had said what I was saying, and that I was actually just quoting this author. Kind of fun, huh? And I'll share that with you. So for the longest time, I've been using the phrase "the journey of enlightenment," and from the consciousness that our entire life is the journey, and the journey is the destination. There's nowhere to get to. And so enlightenment is not a goal. It is something we are when we awaken to it and recognize it. And when we make that journey, when we make the commitment, my entire journey is one of embracing and demonstrating the enlightenment that I know is already within me, then life becomes really cool. And I was ascribing that to Ram Dass. But what he really said and what he really wrote was the path of awakening. Now, he had the same intention. He had the same intentionality behind the concept, the words he used. So his path of awakening is the exact same thought process as what I have been saying, the journey of enlightenment. So take your pick on what you want, what works better for you. For me, it wasn't making what Ram Dass said wrong, and it wasn't expanding or making it better. It was what resonated for me to say the same thing. What resonated with my vibration. So maybe perhaps it's an evolution of that thought. A new perspective on a thought. Remembering that 85% of all statistics are made up on the spot simply to prove the point of the person that is speaking, including that one. I forget how many percentage points it is of people on this planet that at one time or another have created a story in our minds that wasn't true. And we come to recognize it. We can create the stories in our mind that lead us to a more expansive expression in an involvement, of, if you will, of our thoughts. And as our thoughts change, our experience is going to change. So what does this all have to do with Christmas? I believe our thoughts and our beliefs and our experience of this high holy day will change, and does change, and has changed over time and over years. And there is the balance of traditions for tradition's sake, and there are the traditions that grow and evolve and become new and become different. There is a tradition in my household that in gift giving, we often, I have for many years now been adopting angel figurines from thrift stores and other places that I bump into them. And not just family, but out into the world, they get gifted. And those angels get sent out into the world. And the kids came to me earlier this year. Hi, puppy dog. Uh-oh, tea in my hand, puppy dog saying hi. Hi, Christmas. Yes, hi. I'm online. Yes, I know. You have no clue. You have no idea. Down. Come on, down. Not now. Go get your toy. The angels of Christmas. I love it. And so where was I going with that? I know the story I wanted to tell. Where was I going with that? So the kids came to me and said, hey, we love the angel concept, but we got too many angels. It's like, I got nowhere to put 8 more angels. Okay. So Dad's listening, and this year, they don't know this yet. I believe they're still upstairs asleep. But this year, they're getting dragons. So instead of adopting angels, we're adopting dragons this year. And my point in that is the tradition evolves, the tradition changes, but it doesn't change that the tradition is there. It doesn't change the tradition is there. And I want to invite all of us, not just today because it's Christmas, not just because if you live in North America, it's a federal holiday. If you live in other parts of the world, I'm not sure. I believe it is. But I know there are many parts of the world that today is not a holiday either. So generally, they're not watching this show, though. Regardless, at this time of year, I encourage all of us to make the tradition, part of our traditions, a tradition of self-reflection and self-commitment and dedication to what's coming and what we're about. This is a great time for many people. Many people are able to take this coming week, multiple days off, or maybe, maybe you have to work a day or two, but many people out there don't have to grind all week long this week. And we have more time with family and with neighbors and friends, and the opportunity to look at life and say, what do I really want to be about in the coming year? Now, here on the network, one of the things we do is I have an annual tradition of finding unique and different ways to do as much visioning as possible. And so starting on Monday, we'll be doing 3 visioning sessions a day for 7 days. That's 21 visioning sessions over the week. Now, it's not designed... This is not designed for you to show up at every single one of those. You're welcome to if you like. You're more than welcome if you'd like to show up to all of those. I'll be at, I think, all of them. We may have a guest presenter or two that sits in for a session here or there. But the idea is to utilize this opportunity to engage in a visioning process, and engage in the visioning process because what visioning does is it allows us to open up to that mystical experience, to know beyond our knowing, and to tap into the divine higher ideals, the divine higher mind, if you will, that is God's mind, that is the one mind, that is the infinite, the all-knowing, the everything. So we practice within this philosophy, within this organization, we practice the spiritual practices: meditation, prayer, visioning, other introspective practices, other physical practices, yoga, walking, labyrinths, all kinds of body, mind, spirit. And to me, nothing does it like visioning. Because when you really learn to trust visioning, and you really start to see, the demonstrations from the visioning, it becomes, well, miraculous. Not miraculous as in like, oh my gosh, this is 1 in a billion, but miraculous as in this is the everyday miracle. This happens. If I attempted to tell you all the amazing stories from the past week or two with my family, where somebody says this and there it is, where instant demonstrations, unique synchronicities, it would fill the hour and then some to do that. It's not what today's intention is, so I'm not going to do that. But what I do want to invite you to is to start being an active, and maybe not start, to be a more active participant in your own journey of enlightenment. To be an active participant through visioning, through journaling, through prayer, through meditation, through all the various spiritual practices that this network offers. And we're looking at how to expand those opportunities more and more throughout the year. And not everything has to be live, right? I mean, we've created a great collection of meditation and journaling experiences. The Mystic Writers Hangout has a wealth of great opportunities throughout the archives. Go back, pick a back episode, and click in 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes sometimes, but never more than that. And a great opportunity to be with your journal and to feel what I know is the intention of connection, the intention of oneness that is inherent within that experience. So in Vision 2020, whether you come to one of these or all 21 of these, whatever it might be, you're on a visionary journey of enlightenment. And we're going to allow the great wisdom of the I Am to reveal itself to you. Now, one of the things I have long known and taught about visioning that I think is really, really important is you have to look for the things that never go away. The things that continue to show up again and again and again and again and again. Something shows up once or twice in your visioning, let it go. No big deal. Boom. Okay. It was there. It's not there anymore. Look for the things that never go away, that continually find their way back into this experience. That is, I believe, a direct indicator of what wants to happen, what is our deeper calling, and what it is, what you are here to give as a gift, as skills, as talent to this planet, to this journey of evolution, to the awakening of humanity. Because what this holiday has always promised is that sense of peace and that sense that humanity is awakening to a greater consciousness, the Christ consciousness, the consciousness of oneness. That is our call. That's our opportunity. That in this point, what greater thing could we be about than bringing forth a light of truth and oneness? To me, that would be the culmination of what I believe Dr. Holmes was about in his belief that this philosophy should go into the world and be shared and taught and experienced in all segments of life, in all segments of business, and all of everywhere. Here we stand on the cusp of a new age, and sorry for that using that term. I don't like that term, but it just kind of flew out. So, but we're here. We're here in the midst of a paradigm shift. That's for sure. If we've ever seen one in our life, if you've never seen a paradigm shift in your life, this is what we're going through right now. And in that, what greater opportunity to share this message, to share this philosophy, and to demonstrate and live this philosophy. In 2022, I trust you're going to see through this network, through the community that is growing up around us. And remember, we're not quite 2 years old as a broadcast community. The radio station was around a little bit longer. New Thought Radio started in the middle of 2019, first quarter of 2019. So the radio station's been around a little bit longer, but as a broadcast network, as these videos, we haven't been on the air 2 years yet. And in that time, we've grown and grown and grown, and we've watched the demonstration of the visioning. I can go back and pull out visioning notes from 2019 where we didn't know the name yet, but the essence of what's happening today was definitely in the vision. And I know it was there 20 years ago. Yes, it was there. I wasn't conscious of it 20 years ago. It was about 12 or 14, 15 years ago that I started to become really aware of a vision of what is now this network. I couldn't articulate it at the time, but I'll tell you this, it never went away. It might have slipped away from the vision for a while. It might have been on the outside edges of the vision for a while, but what's happening now never went away. So was it there 20 years ago? Yes. Could I see it? No. Was it there 15 years ago? Yes. Could I see it? Occasionally. Was it there 10 years ago? Yes. Could I see it? Definitely more often. Was it there last year? Absolutely. Are we living it now? Yes. And am I living it next year? Are you going to be a part of that? I believe you will. Many will. Many are. As this experience of demonstrating, of living this expands, then all boats are lifted. All boats are lifted. The rising tide lifts all boats. So we have to be ready and willing to go beyond what we know is safe, perhaps. We have to be willing to go beyond what we know as truth to experience an even greater truth, a more expansive truth, a vision that I have never seen before. There's that delicate balance, holding on to what I know can happen and being open that it can happen in a different way than what I believe I know. You with me? There is a gift. There is a gift to be savored and unwrapped by layers and layers. Part of what I love about the holidays is the opportunity. If you guys know me by now, I am not exactly the perfect gift wrapping type guy. It doesn't have to be super creased, and we get very creative in our gift wrapping around this family. Probably because we get very creative gifts that don't often come in nice square boxes. But in our creative wrapping, I love to play with the layers. And so does everybody now. Yeah, we all do it. But to play with the layers, to make someone dig a little, hunt a little, enjoy the anticipation, peel back a little bit of paper and then a little bit of tissue, and what? There's some more paper and a little more tissue. Wait a minute, what's in? Oh, and now there's a box in here, and whatever it might be, to have a bit of fun, to get to, oh, this was not what I was expecting every step of the way, but it still really works. I believe there's a part of that in all of our lives. And when we embrace that, and when we say, okay, I'm with you, I get this, the miracles happen. We recognize the everyday miracles in the connections, and the people that walk into the room, into the people you've never met, that it's instant. That is the light of the world. And this season, while today is a Merry, Merry Christmas, this season is about so much more than the season, because, or this holiday, because it is the season of light. It is the season of the reemerging light into the world, into our hearts, and into our consciousness. That's the gift we give ourselves, and that's the gift we give each other. And I would like to give ourselves just a little gift. Like I said at the top of the show, I want to do things a little differently today. Please know if you do have questions or comments, you're welcome to join in the conversation in the comment box. And yes, dear Wayne, I love that you're with us. Definitely our number one viewer. No question about it. And I believe this is probably Diego chatting under the New Thought Media Network banner and coming through as the network. If you're following in the chat, very special thanks. All right, so I want to share this. You guys, and it's Christmas, and so we gotta have a little bit of music. And I didn't want Frank Sinatra, so we got Eddie Watkins Jr. I invite you to kick back and enjoy.
Ooh, have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. Ooh, have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us will travel near to us once more. Ooh, through the years we all will be together, if the fates allow. Hang a shining star upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas now. Ooh, here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us are gonna travel to us just to be near to us. Through the years we all will be together, if the fates allow. Hang a shining star upon the highest bough. Go on and have yourself a merry little Christmas. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Have yourself a merry little Christmas now.
Thank you, Eddie Watkins Jr., for your amazing music, your support of the network as well. While we're saying thank yous, I would like to take just a real brief moment of your time and say thank you to those that make this all happen, our sponsors and viewers and listeners like you. Please join me in saying thank you.
Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, for your continued support. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown Atlanta, for your monthly contribution. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, for your monthly contribution. And Suze Ajay, thank you for your very generous donation. And a special thanks to Hefferland Foundation for your generous technology grant. And a big shout out to all our committed donors.
Thank you one and all for being part of the New Thought Media Network. If you'd like to get your name on next month's slide and the next version of that movie, you're welcome to head on over to the website ntmedia.org, click on donate, and sign up to be a monthly contributor. Any amount counts, and every amount goes a long way to supporting what we're doing here and getting this message far and wide. And I tell you, we have some new community sponsors coming on in the beginning of the year and some new broadcast programs coming on in the beginning of the year. And as I've been telling you, next Saturday, make sure you're with us. We're not going to start with the textbook next Saturday because it's the first of the year. We're going to expand the team. We're going to introduce you to our speaking team for next year's run through and next year's experiences, and get everybody up to speed with what we're doing and how we're doing it. And it's going to be a really good time. And then the following week, we will start with the Science of Mind textbook and the very first chapter what it is. So plan to join us for that every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. on the Mountain Time Zone. Folks, before we go, I do want to thank you again for being with us and being a part of this. This is not just a ministry of love. It's not just a sense of a calling. To me, there's a sense of something so much more and so much bigger that's emerging through all of this, and it's fueled by a vision. It's fueled by a vision that in many ways is best articulated through the work of Sharif Abdullah and his phrase, "a world that works for all." I love that we are in so many ways building, becoming a part of that, of one of the pieces of the puzzle of a world that works for all, the world that works for everyone, and that we're doing that by creating a beloved community online. And if you're seeing this video at any point in time, please know you're part of that. And I thank you from every aspect of my heart. I want to thank you for being a part of that. So it's a Merry, Merry Christmas. I can smell the pancakes cooking. And so that means my kids are doing some work. And it means it's time for me to go unwrap some gifts and some presents. I want to thank you again for being with us. Be with us next week as we explore, as we share the new team and kick off the new year with the Science of Mind and Spirit lecture series. Until next time, peace.